Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Cancer, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Cancer, I hope that you're doing well. It's going to be a fun reading, I hope. This is all about the person on your mind. Whoever has been preoccupying your thoughts, whether it's a personal thing, they're your coworker, a trusted friend, a sworn enemy, whoever it is that wants to come forward will come forward today. So I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading. The first one will be an overall energy from the Human Spirit Oracle, one of my favorites. And for your tarot reading, the Pulp Tarot. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, and the person on their mind. Angels, spirits, guides, what messages do you have regarding the person on Cancer's mind? Okay, got 2 here, so you could have 2 people on your mind. This could be a couple, could be your parents, we'll see. When I start to go through the cards, you're going to get a flash of someone that it resonates with in your life. Stick to that person. Whoever you feel like it is, it's that person. The first one we got is number 5, Fishbowl. Fishbowl. So there could be a lot of scrutiny surrounding this person, a lot of eyes on them. They're being held up to some kind of mirror, right? Because sometimes fishbowls have those mirrors on the inside. You keep tapping a bowl thinking that they see you, but they don't, right? It's to give the fish, I guess, this illusion of infinity. It's interesting. It gives the illusion of infinity all the while they're kind of trapped in this tank, this box, essentially, right? It could be a greater comment on life and the Matrix, but I mean, maybe this person has expressed such a feeling to you. It's very funny. I was talking to someone yesterday, and they referenced the ivory tower. The ivory tower, this idea that, you know, if we're in the ivory tower, we sit in this place of privilege, and yet that privilege can also be its own kind of weird prison of sorts. So, I mean, this is a beautiful card, right? And there's the fishbowl. She is not in the fishbowl. The fishbowl is sitting on top of her head, which also makes me think that person on your mind, right? The person on your mind, you know, maybe it is you're the one that's scrutinizing them. Maybe you're the one that is, I don't know. Are you trying to kind of compartmentalize them or keep them in a cozy spot in your life? Could that be something, you know, where you keep them safe? It doesn't always have to be this nefarious thing, but we'll get to it. And then the second card you got, number 20, support system. Support system. So this is always such a weird, it's just a bizarre card. We see a hand up here, but then her body is also kind of morphed into a hand. It's always, there's a hand down here, so, you know, lending a helping hand. So it could be that the person on your mind is somebody either you provide support to or who provides support to you. Maybe they're a benefactor of some kind. They provide you support, maybe financially, but then the kind of cost of that would be that you have to abide by a certain standard or a set of rules, right? Like if this is a work situation and you were awarded some kind of grant, some kind of money, and then all eyes are on you as to how you're going to implement change using that money. And so there could be this watchful eye, this scrutiny here. I don't feel as though I do feel the scrutiny part very, very strongly, but I don't necessarily feel like this is a negative connection, although, sometimes, especially if there's a financial component involved, or perhaps not a financial component, but a component of somebody's time, there could be some guilt attached to that. So like, let's say, it's like one of your parents helping you out somehow. Sometimes when people help us out, they're takers in the world, and they'll just take whatever they want. But then there are other people, and I'm kind of like this. Anytime somebody offers to pay for something or help, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like, well, I should reciprocate, or it's kind of this like mentality that I have, maybe like deep down, that I'm not worthy or deserving, right? So while I welcome help, I then feel guilty about it. And Spirit is giving me that example. So that could be, the complexity of this, because I asked for one card and you got two. So there's complexity to this connection that you have with the person on your mind, right? And it's like these two are very, like, I feel they're very poetic. They're very calm energies, like, but there's, I can only see half of the face, half of the story. So we shall dig a little bit deeper. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. I've written it down here because I wanted to try this out. The first set of cards, who they are. The second set, your role in their life. And the third set, the lesson in this connection, which is a little bit of, Spirit's advice, right? So I'm gonna shuffle now for the cards. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. What messages do you have, please, Spirit? A lot of clumps of cards are coming out. I don't take clumps of cards because, it can muddy the reading a little bit. I just want jumpers from the deck. One more. Thank you. Okay. So this is for the person on your mind, who they are. A hard worker. 10 of Wands. Carrying a heavy load. Something that might feel burdensome at times for them. This could be a water sign or a fire sign. It's clarified by the Knight of Cups in the upright. So this is a very genuine, authentic person right off the bat, because when the Knight of Cups comes in the upright, it's an authentic gesture of friendship or love or family. So, kind of a swashbuckler coming into kind of, I hear the theme to Mighty Mouse, which was a cartoon from a long time ago. And it's like, Mighty Mouse is on the way. He has come to save the day, or something like that. He's come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on his way. So I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but it's just like he's like very heroic and chivalrous, and his red cape is flowing in the wind. But in a way, this red cape is an extension of this atmosphere here. This atmosphere of duty, responsibility, perhaps obligation. I think this person is somebody, this could be a partner or significant other, or very close friend, somebody that you greatly respect. I feel a lot of respect from this energy and for this energy, but they've got a lot on their shoulders, and they're finding it difficult to stop that momentum. There's these people that it's difficult for them to say no. It's difficult for them to maybe assert boundaries sometimes. They get a sense of self-worth out of helping others, but that can leave their cup empty. And I think this is something that you may notice about them, or you may understand about them. So it might exacerbate the situation even more when you require their help. You might feel a little guilty about it, or you feel like I'm imposing, but I really need them to help me because they're the only one who can, or something like that. I'm also kind of drawn to the fact that two different decks, but these kind of vibrant orange red colors, and this here and this here, it's like an after effect. It's like there's like echoing energy. These are bouncing off one another, right? This sense here that I think this person, they care a lot about other people, but, you know, and maybe they pride themselves on being a support system, but it's almost like they back themselves into a corner because that's how people know them now, and they can't kind of break free. I don't necessarily know that they're conscious of it. I think that you are, because this fishbowl on top of the head, it's like the ideas, right? The crown chakra. I think that you know. Can I get a clarifier, please, for who they are? Two cards came out. The King of Swords, the Eight of Cups in the reverse, yeah. King of Swords is Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy, air sign energy with a heavy emphasis on Gemini for me. Eight of Cups, Cups energy, water sign, water element. The Eight of Cups talks about walking away from 8 full cups. When the card is in reverse, it's kind of like a homecoming. That's how I always see it. That's how Spirit communicates it to me. So here's this person, King of Swords, very high-powered, it sits in leadership energy for sure. But the King of Swords occupies a very unique, very cerebral stance on things. They look at things with rationality, truth, clarity. That's what they're interested in, communicating clearly. Sorry, I don't know why. Okay, there are 2 cars outside in the driveway across the street with the office building, and there was a red car behind it and almost slammed into the back of the gray car, and it diverted my attention a lot. It suggests to me that this diversion suggests to me that if we're not careful, we could run into some serious problems. This person is very smart and understands that, and I think it's like kind of coming to a head right now. I think that they're exhausted, and they're trying to find a way to extricate themselves from a lot of the situations or responsibilities that have befallen them. Right? This could be like a boss energy, a CEO, leader of some kind. Spirit just said the word mathematician. I don't know why. I mean, King of Swords kind of falls under that guise, like a scientist or some fields like that. That's just like an aside. I don't know why they said mathematician. Maybe that means something to you. But there's genuineness here, but it's just an exhaustion that I feel. It's almost like their brain is just running a mile a minute, and they just don't know how to release a lot of this baggage, because a lot of it, this is the wild card for your person. It's like without this card, the scenario would be much different. I feel like this card keeps them connected, for better or for worse, keeps them connected to things, right? Maybe your person is kind of old-fashioned. I don't know why this is like, you know, strikes me as like the imagery in this deck is very nostalgic. You know, it is a pulp deck, so all the kind of artwork from that time. But this King of Swords feels conservative, old-fashioned. Like, if we're talking about a man, for example, it's like, I gotta be a man's man, I gotta be the provider, I gotta be like all the archetypes of the masculine in modern society. They fall their ideology falls underneath those parameters. You know, I got to be the provider and take care of things, right? But I do feel that underneath they're a very sensitive soul, and that they genuinely want to, but are trying to come back to the self somehow. There's that red again. Red, look at all this red. There's a lot of red here represented. It's sticking out to me for your person. Your role in their life. Your role in their life. Number 0, the first card of the major arcana, the Fool energy. I mean, the carefreeness, also wearing kind of a red patterned shirt, but the carefree energy, the willing to take risks, willing to take chances. There's a joyfulness here, there's a lightheartedness where we're traveling light. It's so opposite of this. Like, the Fool energy is known for traveling light. Throwing caution to the wind, having faith in themselves, having faith in spirit. So that's your role in their life. It's like, I feel like maybe you're there to, you know, if you are the support system, maybe you are there to remind them that life is for living, life is for experiences, that we can sometimes take risks. You know, they may think that all their responsibilities hold them down, but every once in a while it's like, let your hair down, let yourself loose, let yourself take a vacation, you know, let's try something new. So if this is your partner, it's like you're encouraging them to, you know, it's not to say to shirk their responsibilities, but to find a childlike wonder again. That's what the Fool card is. And the Fool, it's the Fool's journey. That's what the tarot is all about. It's the Fool's journey of how we can kind of reorient ourselves in our lives to up level, to have our manifestations come true, to, you know, have a close connection to the divine, to our higher selves. Really, really big issues. And you provide that, I feel like that kind of breath of fresh air for this person. Knight of Swords in reverse, to clarify that. It's interesting. They got the King of Swords, you got the Knight of Swords in reverse. There's some times when I think that both of you do not see eye to eye. Like, you might not agree, especially if they're, I mean, I'm a Cancer, and this is reminding me of a particular connection that I have, but especially if they're old-fashioned, they're a little conservative, right? Which is what I mentioned before. Here's you, like, coming in, like, the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck, and he's got the sword in his hand, sword representing truth and clarity and information and communication. So when the card is in reverse, it's kind of like sometimes you come at this stalemate where you're, like, not seeing eye to eye. You know, if they're just like, oh, no, I could never do that. And there could be some frustration on your part. You may be communicating that frustration to them, like, what do I have to do to convince you? How can I convince you that it's okay to take a little risk? It's okay to put yourself out there. Let's see. Can I get a clarifier, please? Strength card, number 8, Knight of Wands. Yeah. Oh, you're Spitfire. Knight of Wands. I mean, this is fire energy. Like, you might have prominent fire placements in your chart. I know that I do. Strength card, Major Arcana number 8, Leo energy. It talks about this mastery over the ego, like mastery over the identity that we've formed thus far in life, and being able to kind of stretch out of those boundaries. Sometimes it can talk about ego death. It's just like mastering the fear that keeps us trapped. And I think you're doing that, and you're running with it, right? The Knight of Wands is very extremely spontaneous. In a way, the Knight of Wands is the I feel like in this particular reading, I feel like the Knight of Wands is the Fool card in the minor arcana. Spontaneous, taking risks, like flying by the seat of our pants, throwing caution to the wind, as we can see here. This always reminds me of the show The Dukes of Hazzard, which was very popular in the early 80s. very problematic, but it was popular. So this person sees you as, very exciting, truly very exciting, but there's this kind of this stalling feeling, like you wish you were, or not maybe wish, but if you had a choice about things, things would be a little bit more accelerated between you and this person. Now again, it could be your partner, it could be a parent, it could be a coworker, or whomever, a boss, a little bit of a stodgy boss, like, oh, well, we've got to buckle down and do it this way. And you're just like, no, let's try something new. Break through the old stories and paradigms and narratives and throw caution to the wind, right? That's a really fun energy. But all the while, I feel that support system there, that, you mean well. And of course you do. You're a Cancer, like, of course. You mean well. And I think this person knows it because, on my table, this card is looking at your pile. So it's like you have each other's backs. But how that support shows up is very different from the both of you. And the lesson of this connection, 2 cards in the reverse, 6 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 7 of Swords in reverse. So let's look at the cards in the upright. The 6 of Pentacles talks about reciprocity and equal give and take. This sense that what we put out into the world, we get back. That Spirit is monitoring all of these situations and then sending someone to you. Like if you were to put yourself out there, or you were to be generous in some way, to be giving in some way, in whatever method that shows up, that Spirit would then send somebody through the material world to you to repay and strike a balance. The 7 of Swords is a card of wanting to be very strategic. It's a little bit of thievery energy. Trying to gain the upper hand without a lot of fanfare. Trying to gain the upper hand over a situation or over someone else. But you got these 2 cards in reverse. The lesson of this connection, to not, I don't know, there might be some manipulation involved here, and that's a very strong word, and that's not quite what I mean. But even on a subconscious level, sometimes we manipulate people to try to get them to do what we want to do. And the lesson of this connection is no more manipulation tactics, no more trying to persuade somebody to do something they don't want to do. We're interested, right? The lesson of this connection, we're interested not in being sneaky, but being on the up and up and achieving some kind of leveling out, that there isn't going to be the seesaw or swaying of energies that go, that dip in either direction too much. That we need to come together as equals. Because after all, you care about this person, whomever they are. I feel deep care for them. They could be really under a lot of pressure right now. And this energy that I see for you here, it's all with good intention. Absolutely. And it's with excitement. And in a way, I feel like they want to jump into the car with you. They want to take risks. They want to, but something in their background, their upbringing, their experience, it causes them to be a little bit more practical. I'm going to get a last card for the lesson of this connection. Nine of Swords in the reverse. Don't worry about it too much. Try not to worry about them too much, actually. Nine of Swords can, in their upright, be a card of nightmares and overthinking, anxiety. kind of last card for the lesson, or, you know, Spirit's advice. It's almost like allow this person to kind of figure out their own way through, to navigate their own way through whatever predicament they might find themselves in. You are doing your best as their friend, their child, their partner, their whatever. You're doing your best to show them alternatives. It's almost like saying, be patient. Don't stress out about it too much. Allow them to see the alternatives, to let them know that it's available to them, and that you'll be by their side when they need you, because I genuinely feel that. So that's your reading, Cancer. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Cancer.